Welcome to my first video of my pound to pound challenge. Before I get into what the pound to pound challenge actually is, I'm just going to explain what the channel is overall. Then I'll get into the pound to pound challenge itself. Then I'll explain what I've invested so far and the current return. What am I doing with this channel? Basically, I'm starting a portfolio from absolute scratch, so there is nothing invested whatsoever in the portfolio currently. There will be at the end of this video, but I'll explain that when I explain the pound to pound challenge basically. So at the moment, I do have my own personal investments, but I won't be going over that within this channel. This channel is all about building a portfolio from absolute nothing, doing different challenges, different things, maybe starting some side hustles. But to get on with the very first thing I'm doing a pound to pound challenge. So what is a pound to pound challenge? Basically, as you can tell from my accent, I am British, therefore I use the pound as my currency. So the idea of a pound to pound challenge basically is that for every pound you lose, you need to invest a pound. I am overweight. I've probably got over £100 to lose. So therefore I could do very, very well with this challenge regarding investing if I can keep onto it, which I will do. But the idea of it is that for every pound of weight you lose, you need to invest a pound. However, I'm going to do it slightly differently. So the way I'm actually going to do it is that for every pound I lose, I need to invest the equivalent in pounds. So for example, for the first pound, I'll invest £1. For the second pound I lose, I'll need to invest £2. For the third pound I lose, I'll need to invest £3. So in total, over £3, I would have invested £6 in total. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously, like I say, I've got £100 to lose, well, over £100 really, but I'm going to focus on the number of 100 just to keep things simple. So let's say I lose £100. In total, I would need to invest £5,050. So it's a large amount of money, and obviously there will be issues as I lose more, but I'll explain why there'll be issues in a little bit. I didn't start the pound to pound challenge today. Actually, I started a good few weeks ago. The date today is the 14th of April, but my last weigh-in was actually on the 2nd of April, and I actually lost £14 in total. So I actually had £105 I needed to invest. And what I invested in was a stocks and shares ISA on Vanguard. And what I invested was the FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund accumulation. So basically, accumulation is the one where it automatically reinvests the dividends. So it'll be hard for me to track the dividends because Vanguard doesn't really tell you what dividends it invests, if that makes sense. But it'll at least be able to see the increase or decrease as it obviously goes through the months. So yeah, I invested £105 into that FTSE Global All Cap Index. So that's what I did, and obviously that's what I'm going to continue to invest all of the pound to pound challenge into. So all of that will go into this. The reason I did Vanguard is because that's where my personal investments are as well. So it just made sense to kind of use this. I could have gone to like Trading 212 or to another platform, but I just thought for simplicity at the moment, I'm just going to keep it on Vanguard. And obviously that's where my stocks and shares are as well. So obviously that's tax-free. So that's why I'm doing that as well. So like I said, today is the 14th of April. I invested the £105 on the 2nd of April. So I can reveal today that I have actually got a return of £2.64. So I'm not planning to take any money out. I'm just going to leave it in there, let it grow. Obviously, it is up at the moment. If I did this last week, it probably would have been down because of the Iran situation. But it's a good start. I'm happy with that. And I just need to keep going with it. Going forward, there is going to be a slight issue that I kind of predict is going to happen, or I know it's going to happen, which is I'm going to get to a point where I might lose, let's say, pound 49, 50, 51, 52. That's £202 I need to invest into the portfolio. I might not have the income to pay that into the actual portfolio at that point. So what I'll have to start to do is do IOUs to the portfolio. So basically I will have to kind of, in the reports, explain what I've invested so far, what I've lost in weight, and then kind of what the IOU is into the account, and then what I've paid from the IOU into the portfolio. So I envisage what's going to happen is that I'm going to lose the weight before I've actually paid everything into the portfolio, which is fine. It just means I have to do more videos in the future. So it's going to take a long time probably to do, but it's going to be an interesting challenge to kind of see how much I've invested and how much I've got returned from the investment. But I'll explain more in future videos, so that'll hopefully explain everything regarding the investments, obviously the IOUs and the returns. So If you do want to keep up to date with these videos, please do give me a like, comment and subscribe just to keep up to date with all the future videos and the pound to pound challenge. If you have got to this point in the video, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. But at the moment, cheers. Bye.